Hey everyone, it's Pastor Josh here. I hope you are having a fantastic day and that you're getting everything ready for Christmas. And talking about Christmas, talking about this year, we have to adjust our Christmas this year. I know many people everywhere are having to adjust different things. So that's what I want to talk about today is learning how to adjust. And again, this is the second part of the series, learning to adjust of the series Lessons from Christmas. I'll put part one up here in the corner. That way you can see the first part. And so in this part of the series, before I get headed, if you don't know who I am, I'm Josh Golightly, and I'm the pastor here at Welcome Life. Is where I teach you how to live a life different from the world, a life filled with joy, happiness, and peace that only comes through Jesus Christ. So if you're watching here or if you're watching on the replay, tell me where you're watching from. That way I can get to know you and see what's going on here, So without any further ado, though, if you're new here again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and that way you can keep up with every content that I put out. And I go live, or I'll put out some content every Tuesday around 2 p.m. Alaska time. That's where I'm from. And then I'll also put up a short every Thursday. So if you want to keep track of that, hit that subscribe button down below. That way you keep track of everything that is going on. So talking about lessons from Christmas and learning to adjust. Last week we talked about how it was unexpected that Mary got pregnant. So today we're going to talk about what they had to do when Jesus was actually being born. And so if you want to follow me, I don't have any notes today, but if you want to follow me, it's literally just two verses. It's Luke 2, 6 through 7. So this is what it says. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in clothes and placed him in a manger because there was no guest room available for him. No guest room available. No room. There wasn't any room for him. This year has been a year full of adjustments. Like we're having to adjust our time. We're having to adjust what we do. What is one thing that you're having to adjust this year? What have you had to adjust this year? Let me know in the comments below. What is the most biggest adjustment that maybe it's that you have to do homeschooling now. You're like, I wish my kids would just go back to school. Or maybe I am now working from home. That was my big adjustment is I went from being in an office to now being a stay-at-home dad and working from home. Maybe it's you lost a loved one and you're learning to adjust how to live life without that loved one. That's hard. What is your number one adjustment this year? Let me know in the comments below, and that way we can, again, get to know each other. See, the thing about adjustments is they never come at a convenient time. They never do. You try making your schedule as precise as you want to make it, and you're like, all right, I got this to do. I got this to do. I got this to do. And you put it on your phone. You put it on your tablet. You put it on everything. You have a calendar. Our technology gives us this calendar that allows us to be like, I'm everywhere, but I'm nowhere. And then when our schedule doesn't match up, we freak out and we got to learn to adjust, and we can't adjust. And then what we going to do? Because adjustments don't happen at a convenient time. See, the adjustment that Mary and Joseph had to make is their adjustment happened when a baby was being born. They wanted to go where it was nice and cozy, okay? But instead, they end up having to go in a manger. Now, I'm not going to get into what the manger scene is. I don't want to do all that stuff because there's different takes on how the manger was. But still, they went from being able to go into a guest room to going into a manger. That was a huge adjustment for them. I mean, who wants to have a baby in a manger? No one wants to have a baby in a manger. But guess what? That was all part of God's plan. It was all part of God's plan because he took something that wasn't humble at all and put a king in it. I mean, just think about that. Put a king in one of the places that wasn't the most humble at all. The other thing is sometimes the most comfortable answers to life's adjustments don't work out. Again, it goes back to our schedules. We want blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. When your schedule starts to mess up, you want to try fixing it. I talked about this on Sunday, that it's like me, I had a 1979 Chevy Scottsdale growing up. And what I would do is I would get underneath the hood, but I didn't know a lot about trucks. And so if I would try fixing it by myself, guess what would happen to the truck? It would break. But I knew my grandpa and my dad both knew about trucks. And so I had to go with that. That was an adjustment I had to make. And sometimes our adjustments that we try making just don't work. They might feel comfortable to us, but they don't work. That's where our trust in God comes in. During this Christmas season, you may be trying to figure out an adjustment to work. You may be trying to figure out how to get to a loved one when you're like, maybe I shouldn't do that. You may be trying to, make presents happen for your kids and your family when you might not actually have the money to do it. And it's uncomfortable, yes. And it's an adjustment, absolutely. But it's an adjustment that doesn't always work if you try making it work on your own. Trust God during this Christmas season. I mean, Mary and Joseph trusted that God knew where they were going to put Jesus. I mean, they had no choice. The baby was coming. Jesus was going to be born. But it was an adjustment nonetheless. And it didn't come at a convenient time. Have you left room for adjustments in your life? See, our adjustments happen. Again, we want to make this schedule. We want to make sure everything happens. And sometimes those adjustments don't quite come when we want them to happen. And when they don't come when they want them to happen, is there room for us to do the adjustment? Or are we so tight on the schedule that no room for flexibility? It's like trying to take your kid to a soccer game when you're like, oh man, I'm behind. I'm like 20 seconds behind. 20 seconds behind. Oh no, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Dude, slow down. When I was younger, and I still do this to this day, I tend to take life slow. Okay, I tend to take life slow. And when people are like, come on, Joshua, we gotta go, Joshua, we gotta go. My number one response is to almost always want to slow down. That I'm telling you right now, my wife can't stand that, okay? But that's my response. My response is to slow down, because I've learned to pace myself that adjustments happen. Things are going to happen in my life where there has to be adjustments. Is it easy to adjust? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Again, what is one thing in your life that you've had to adjust? What is something that you've had to wiggle around in order to make it work in your life? Because everything requires adjustments. Everything requires adjustments. You might be in a car, okay? And when you're driving down the road, you have your AC or heater on. Right now, again, I live in Alaska, my heat's on, okay? So you have your AC or your heat on, and somewhere down the line, if you have your heat on, you might get too hot, so you have to adjust it. You might get too cold if you have your AC on, so you have to adjust it. Everything in life takes adjustments. Learn from Mary and Joseph. Our adjustments might not look the way we want them to look. I can probably guarantee you they did not want to have Jesus in a manger. But at the same time, they knew that was the best place to have Jesus, because the baby was coming. The baby was coming, and they had to have a place to put that child. And a manger was the place for it. Guys, when adjustments need to happen in your life this year, don't freak out. Trust God and let Him help you with that adjustment. Go to Him. Pray about it. See, the King of Kings coming in a lonely manger shows the biggest adjustment that had to be made. And it also shows us the humility that God wants for us to have in our lives. That the adjustments might take humility. Remember that this year. I want to wish you all, if this is the only video you're watching, a Merry Christmas. That you have a great Christmas season. Don't let the season go by without telling a loved one that you love them. And don't let this season go by without making some adjustment to maybe make yourself happy, but not just yourself, but someone else. Until next time, guys, you have a great day.